The airport smelled like burnt coffee, fresh jet fuel, and early morning impatience, exactly the way Amelia Ross liked it. At 6:10 a.m., Terminal C at Los Angeles International pulsed with life. Business travelers dragged silver suitcases like obedient pets. Families huddled over boarding passes and loudspeakers whispered boarding calls every few seconds. Amelia, a senior flight attendant with FlightWave Airlines, walked with purpose through the crew corridor, her navy uniform sharp, her hair in a tight bun. 12 years in the skies had hardened her patience and shaped her instincts, and today, they hummed with an unease she couldn't name. She reached the crew shuttle. Her pilot, Captain Mitchell Hayes, was already in the van, sipping black coffee, posture perfectly upright as always. "Morning, Captain," Amelia greeted, sliding into the seat. "Morning, Ross," Hayes replied with a polite nod. Hayes had a reputation: strict, calm, unbreakable. He'd flown in the Air Force before becoming one of the airline's most trusted commanders. If turbulence had a face, many would swear he stared it down daily, and yet today, even he looked tense. Their flight, FW 972 to Miami. Full flight, 179 passengers, clear weather, nothing unusual. Except Amelia couldn't shake the feeling that something was unusual. In aviation, instincts mattered. Too many lives depended on them. Still, she brushed it off. Too many flights, too little sleep, that's all. Boarding begins gate 54 buzzed as boarding commenced. Amelia stood by the aircraft door of the Boeing 787 Dreamliner, greeting passengers with practiced warmth. "Welcome aboard." "Hi there." "Seat 22A?" "Just to your right, sir." Her smile was habit, but her eyes scanned everyone. She didn't know what she was looking for, but she knew she'd know when she saw it, and then she did. A man in a dark gray hoodie stood at the jet bridge entrance, frozen. He wasn't moving, just staring at the aircraft like it was a beast about to swallow him whole. Amelia approached slowly. "Sir, are you boarding?" she asked softly. His eyes flicked to her. Haunted, shaking. He clutched a small backpack like it carried his life, or someone else's. "I shouldn't be here," he whispered. It wasn't what he said. It was how he said it. Amelia's instincts flared. "What do you mean?" She pressed gently. He swallowed hard. "I don't want to be on this plane." Passengers behind him grumbled. "Sir, if you're uncomfortable, we can discuss options with the gate agent," she offered. He nodded, backed away, and left in a panic. Strange, but not unheard of. People fear flying. Still, her pulse ticked faster. A second red flag. When boarding finished, Amelia prepared for pushback. Passengers buckled up, screens flickered to life, kids poked seat belts like they were exotic creatures. Then she noticed a passenger, row 14 window seat, watching her too closely. A woman in sunglasses, indoors, on a plane, no phone, no book, just watching her. Amelia met her gaze. The woman immediately looked away. Strange, very strange. "Ross," First Officer Daniels spoke through the interphone. "Cabin secure for departure?" "Almost," she replied, "almost." But her gut still twisted. She walked the aisle, every seatbelt fastened. Bins closed, normal, except one. The woman in sunglasses was gripping her tray table, knuckles white. A bead of sweat rolled down her temple. Amelia kneeled. "Are you all right, ma'am?" The woman didn't look at her. Instead, she whispered a sentence that froze Amelia's pulse. "Get off the plane." 4 words. Calm, sincere, terrifying. Amelia's heart hammered. "Why?" she whispered. The woman didn't answer. She just repeated, "Leave. Immediately." This wasn't fear. This was warning. Then the woman added, barely audible, "You don't have much time." Amelia stood, throat dry, breathing shallow. Passenger panic is one thing, but this was something else. There was knowledge in it, urgency, truth. She walked to the cockpit, every step heavy. "Captain, I need a word," she said through the secure door speaker. "Give me 30 seconds, Ross." "No," she said, voice trembling. I need it now. The cockpit door opened slightly. Hayes's eyes appeared. What is it? A passenger just told me to get off the plane, in a way that didn't feel like fear. It felt like a threat. He studied her face, measuring. And earlier a man refused to board, said he shouldn't be here. Hayes frowned. Did she specify a threat? Bomb? Hijacking? No, just a warning. Serious. Controlled. Daniels chimed in behind Hayes. Feels like paranoia to me. Or something else, Amelia snapped. A tense silence. Hayes weighed protocol. FAA rules allowed removal if crew felt uneasy. But removing 179 passengers and delaying a flight wasn't small. His jaw clenched. Then he made a call Amelia never forgot. Ross, if your gut is screaming this loud, I trust it. Get off. She blinked. Shocked. You're releasing me? Yes, go. I'll explain to corporate. Daniels looked at Hayes like he'd lost his mind. Passengers stared as Amelia collected her bag in confusion. She paused at the door, chest tight. Captain, do not take off until you're sure. I always am. She stepped onto the jet bridge, heart pounding like a war drum. 6 minutes later, she had reached the terminal, still shaking, when her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She answered. The voice on the other end was calm. Male, confident. You listened. What? Who is this? They needed you off the plane. What's happening? Silence. Then, leave the airport now. Click. The call cut. Amelia froze. Then, alarm blared. Attention, emergency protocol, terminal security lockdown in progress. Panic rippled through the terminal. Passengers startled. Phones came out. People gasped. News alert flashes on screens. FBI suspicious individual alert. Possible aviation. Threat. Her stomach dropped. Flight FW972 was taxiing. No. She broke into a sprint toward the windows, and there it was. The plane. Her plane. Rolling slowly toward the runway. Then her phone rang again. Captain Hayes, she answered instantly. Captain? What's... His voice was strained. Fear under steel. Ross, come back. Now. We need you. Something is... Static. A muffled shout. A thud. Then Hayes returned, urgent. Get the FBI. And Amelia, whatever you do, don't let us take off. The call died. Amelia turned toward security, lungs burning. She had 9 minutes to stop a plane. 9 minutes to save 179 souls. And she was suddenly very sure. This was no paranoia. This was an operation. And she was in the middle of it. Amelia sprinted through the terminal like the floor was fire. Security agents spilled from doors, radios hissing. I need to speak to whoever is in charge, she gasped to a TSA officer. Ma'am, stay back. I am senior crew on FW972 and that aircraft is in danger. Now that got attention. A Homeland Security agent turned sharply. Flight Wave 972, Miami? What threat information do you have? The captain called. Something is wrong on board. We need to stop the takeoff. He grabbed his radio. This is Federal Agent Rivers. Issue immediate ground stop on Flight Wave 972. Repeat, stop that aircraft, air bridges sealed. Officers flooded the gate area. Through the glass, FW972 slowed, but then it accelerated. The nose lifted slightly. It was preparing to take off. Rivers swore. Tower, abort clearance. Shut them down. They're not responding, came the tower reply. Not responding? That meant one thing. Cockpit compromise. Hijack scenario. Passengers had no clue. Yet, inside the aircraft, Captain Hayes stood with a gash on his forehead. A man in 14A, the one who'd been watching Amelia, held a broken bottle neck to his neck. A second attacker held First Officer Daniels at gunpoint, keeping him strapped into the left seat. Hands helpless, they were silent, efficient, trained, not amateurs. The weapon wasn't standard. Military-grade polymer handgun. Silent slide suppressor ready. This was planned, precise. Hayes grimaced. Who sent you? The hijacker whispered, chillingly calm. You weren't the target. Then, he cocked the weapon. Back in the tower corridor, Amelia stared in horror as tow trucks rolled toward the aircraft, too slow. She turned to Rivers, you can't board through the door. They'll kill someone before you breach, she whispered. We have to try, he muttered. No, you need a distraction first, she countered. He studied her. You sound like you've done this before. I haven't, but I've watched it happen from 20,000 feet. And right now you need someone they don't expect. A beat. Rivers nodded slowly. You're going back on board, she swallowed. Tell my mother I love her if... You'll tell her yourself. The fake evacuation Rivers used the PA. Attention. Due to a maintenance alert, we need to reposition aircraft FW-972 and verify systems. Please remain seated. Cabin crew will reboard to assist. A perfect lie. Amelia stepped onto the jet bridge with two undercover air marshals disguised as maintenance crew. Her hands trembled. Don't think about fear. Think about the passengers. She pressed the aircraft interphone. This is Senior Flight Attendant Amelia Ross. Cabin re-entry for maintenance support. For 3 silent seconds, nothing happened. Then, the door unlocked. She exhaled shakily. She walked in, and froze. The aisle was tense. Passengers stiff. A man was bleeding. A child crying in row 18. The hijacker in row 14 spotted her. Surprise flashed in his eyes. You came back, he whispered. Amelia locked gazes with Hayes, who gave the smallest nod. We fight now, the standoff the gunman gripped. Captain Hayes harder. Amelia lifted her hands slowly. You don't need to hurt anyone. Tell us what you want. The man didn't blink. Sit. She sat in jump seat position. Everyone stay calm, she said softly to passengers. We will resolve this. Her voice smooth, professional, unbroken. Inside, terror clawed her rib cage. Why this flight? She asked. Silence. Then the man spoke one chilling sentence. Someone on board cannot be allowed to land in Miami. Her eyes widened. So a target, not a hijacking. But who? Businessman in suit? Kid with headphones? Elderly couple? Teen girl reading comic? Any of them. Nobody knew except the stranger who told her to get off the plane. And the woman in sunglasses. Amelia's mind raced. Then she saw it. Row 14 woman. Glasses off now. Sharp trained eyes, she wasn't afraid. She was waiting. They locked. Eyes realization struck like lightning. The woman wasn't a threat, she was security. Undercover counter-terror. Enid and Amelia had left, which blew the cover. The mission had shifted. That's why she begged Amelia to exit, to protect. Or too late now. The woman gave the slightest head tilt. A signal left aisle. 2 attackers. Leader is right seat. Pilot hostage. FO restrained. Amelia inhaled slowly. Time to fight smart. The move the fake maintenance marshals entered. Tools in hand. One hijacker swung toward them, but the woman in row 14 lunged first. Tackling his arm. The gun fired into the ceiling. Screams erupted. Second attacker yanked Hayes as shield. Amelia launched forward. Grabbing a metal coffee pot from galley. She swung. Crack. The second attacker stumbled. Hayes broke free and slammed the cockpit door shut behind him. Locking controls. The airplane swerved on. Taxiway as auto throttle cut. Passengers ducked. Chaos. Colbert. First Air Marshal pinned a hijacker to the floor as the other secured the Isle row 14 woman handcuffed the second. Amelia panted. Adrenaline burning her veins. Hayes's voice came over cabin speakers, firm again. This is the captain. Threat neutralized. Law enforcement boarding. Passengers burst into tears, hugging strangers. A child whispered. We're safe? Yes, Amelia whispered, voice breaking. You're safe. Aftermath police stormed the cabin. Passengers evacuated. Outside, sunlight bathed the runway like nothing had happened. Amelia sat on a bench, shaking. Captain Hayes approached. You saved us, he said quietly. No, she replied. You trusted me. That saved us, he smiled faintly. Rare? Real? You going back in the air? She looked at the jet. Her workplace, her sky, her purpose. Yes, she breathed. I always do. A Homeland Security Command unit rolled up. Row 14 woman approached, removing her badge. You have instincts, she told Amelia. Better than most trained agents. Amelia shrugged weakly. Just doing my job. The agent's eyes softened. Next time? Trust it sooner. She nodded. Final moment. Hours later. Amelia walked out of the airport into warm California sun. Phone buzzed. Unknown number again. She answered. Silence. Then a low voice. Good job, Amelia. She froze. Who are you? A slight chuckle. The one who told you not to board. Click, line dead. She stared at the sky. Threat prevented. Lives saved. Mystery unsolved. And one truth burned in her chest. Sometimes the universe whispers and sometimes it screams, and if you listen, you save the world. One flight at a time.